Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all well. Thank you to all of those that came from far. I think everybody is here by now. So welcome to the 2026 KHA Annual General Meeting. I see quite a lot of old faces here and I see plenty new ones. So that's refreshing to see that there is more interest in the hemp industry. So members, colleagues, online audience, esteemed guests and members of the press, I believe there are some of them here, or they might be running late. My name is Sheldon Kramer. Most people know me as Bobby Greenhash. That nickname came, or it kind of got stuck because of an organization I opened, a philanthropic organization I opened to expand the cannabis and hemp industry within South Africa back in 2013, and the name Bobby kind of stuck with me. So you can call me either Sheldon or Bobby. I do respond to other names too, but only my wife's allowed to call me that. I'm the chairman of the KHA, and with me today are members of our EXCO. So I'm going to ask, they're all experts in their various fields. Some of them don't even, or have never historically been involved in hemp or cannabis, but they're experts, and that's what we need in this industry. I always say there's too many stoners and not enough business people. So the EXCO consists of a team of experts which we have picked up over the years. Some of them I've robbed from other organizations. So yeah, we've got a good team of guys. They're all experts in the field of what they're doing. I'm going to ask every one of our EXCO members if you could just stand up and introduce yourselves to the audience so everybody knows who you are. Martin, well, we're the EXCO guys. Great. Okay. Over here we have Martin Dippenaar. He's our genetics seed guy and expert farmer. If you need to know anything about growing hemp, you look carefully. That looks like a hemp stalk. Next we've got Craig. Craig's in our financial and accounting on our EXCO. He's going to be presenting some economics for us a little bit later. Mvunge from KwaZulu Hemp Processing. Mvunge Zulu. Spare Zulu is representative. He represents us within the parameters of the Amakosi. So we've got a lot of projects that are involved with Amakosi. Is there any other EXCO members here? Yeah, no, I think that's all of them. A lot of guys couldn't make it. Some of them are going to church today because it is Good Friday. So a lot of our EXCO members are all there. Some of them have left, have given their apologies. So once again, a warm welcome to everyone, and a special thanks to those who came from far. Over the last 3 years, since the KwaZulu Hemp Association has been constituted, the KHA has been diligently building frameworks of the hemp industry in KZN. It's been a bit of an uphill battle, mainly because we've been trying to get around market uncertainty. People are generally uncertain, or have been over the last 3 years. Do we get into this? Is it a viable industry? What are the risks, etc.? And that doesn't just include the industry itself. It includes investors and it includes government. But fortunately, we are making headway, and there is a lot happening. And today, I'm going to deal a lot with what's happening. And hopefully everybody here will get a bit of better insight as to where we are and what we're doing. Okay. The KHA is a registered non-profit organization, is in the final stages of acquiring a public beneficiaries organization status, which means we will be able to get funding for our industry, for our farmers, for our manufacturers, for retailers, producers, anyone within the industry. Okay, so we are working on collaboration with our members, the hemp community, government departments, Department of Agriculture and Land Reform, DTRC, associated NGOs has yielded positive growth in the industry. sector within KZN, with various incubation projects that we are busy with. The KHA largely funds these ourselves. It's actually 100% funded by our member corporates, myself, membership fees, which are not a lot. So, we are at this point thundering forward on on the fumes. It's like driving a Land Cruiser to Durban on a reserve tank. So, but we'll get there. So, we are moving forward. We are in negotiation with the various government departments. We have MOUs with various government departments and industrial development funding people. Okay, can we go to slide 8? Okay, guys, today I'm going to largely be dealing not so much with the agricultural, focusing on the agricultural side. The last 3 years we focused on hemp agriculture, and I kind of think we have established a good base within the commercial and the informal rural sectors of farmers. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking largely to today is what can we do with the crops that we grow? What are we going to do with it? Where do we sell it? My most common question I get on a daily basis is people say, but I've planted hemp. Where am I going to sell it? Where are the markets? Guys, this industry functions very similar to sugarcane and forestry. You've got an agri-processor which your farmers sell to, an agri-processor then semi-processes or processes and goes on to manufacturing retail. So it's not a complicated value chain. The only difference is that we're growing hemp instead of sugarcane. So it's very, very similar. If you can grow sugarcane, you can grow hemp. Okay, so if we look at the value chain here, agriculture, agri-processing, manufacturing, end-user markets, most cash crops follow the same models. Okay, so what we've effectively done is built that value chain, and we've had that value chain operating and working and generating income. What our goal is now to expand on that, and expanding on that is about talking about down the line on the value chain. What do we make? What are the markets? What opportunities are there to open businesses that use that raw product? Okay. Within the seed to sale framework, we've established a functioning value chain that consists of agriculture, manufacturing, and refinery. So, both locally and international, there's markets. At the moment, I'm flooded with both international and local offtakes. People are wanting to buy raw product. So, us as the KHA, we're looking at trying to boost the value chain. We've got the Kotanga, now we need to build onto it. So, that's what we're looking at. During 2023, 2024, 2025, the KH team have been focused on the foundation of the industry, the agriculture, and specifically the farmers. Okay, next slide. The KHA team and I have travelled throughout the province, establishing a footprint in Nkanya Kude, Khetswayo, Amajuba, Ugu, Ukatlamba, Ngungundlovu, and eThekwini, with primary focus establishing a strong rural farmer base within the traditional subsistence farmers and commercial farmers. Growing our database and our membership base of permit holders within KZN. We have got a very big database of permitted farmers which we have built and are members of our organization, which gives us voice with government. It gives us the ability to go to government and say, this is what we need. In the end of the day, government don't talk to people, they talk to organizations and they talk to corporations and they talk to solid things. They're not interested in belonging to your WhatsApp group or your Facebook group. Okay. So, our KH policies have been based on developing not only the commercial farmer membership database, but just as importantly, our rural farmers. The KHA has created a mentorship and guidance systems for the agri sector and has established incubation projects throughout these districts. and we continue to expand into other districts of the province. There are some that we haven't touched. Kokstad way, I don't think much grows in Kokstad. It's so cold there. Okay, next one. Okay, so we'd like to extend our thanks to the provincial government on their inputs on many of these incubation projects. They have opened doors for us. They haven't given us money yet, but they're opening the doors, we're 50% of the way there. So thanks to that, and we look forward to playing a crucial part in the future collaborations with various departments, NGOs, and economic development organizations. The KHA would also like to thank Amakosi, Izinduna, Undawazita, Ukonla Namklaj, Lutu. I thought there would at least be, besides Makeba, but he's one of our EXCO members. He represents the Amakosi. He introduced himself a little bit earlier. They played an instrumental role in implementing our various projects. We have to work with the community to make it happen, and that's the whole community value chain, or the community hierarchy as such. So the Amakosi have been very instrumental in assisting us within the KZN area in establishing these projects. The next slide, Rick. Other collaborations that have proven valuable to the expansion of the hemp industry in KZN, and they've given us a lot of support, which I'd like to mention. Kobasa, I believe Mr. Henry Villeneuve is here. He's sticking his hand up there. He is going to be addressing us a little bit later on what the French are doing in terms of intelligence, marketing, information, potential overseas markets, and that. So Kobasa, I think Henry travelled all the way from Johannesburg, landed here at Oroby, and then had to find an Uber up here. So I don't know how difficult that is in Maritzburg, and it couldn't have been easy. So thank you very much, Henry. Thank you to his son as well, Gaspard. He's not here today, but he's been very instrumental. I think a lot of you guys have met them or do know them. I encourage you to talk to them after the meeting. Agricultural Development Agency, or ADA, is a funding body within the agricultural sector in KZN. We look forward to assisting them with identification of potential investment into the KZN hemp industry. The ADA is just one of many IDFs, or Industrial Development Funds. We've got KwaZulu Growth Fund, we've got SIFTA, so there is a lot of access to those funds, and obviously the KHA plays a role in advising them on investing in our industry, whether it's the farmers, mostly at this time it's the farmers, or down the line of that value chain. So the problem they've been having in the past is they give out money to people and they take the money and run away. But you must remember, they're accountants, they don't understand the industry. One problem we do see commonly, is not so much anymore, is that everybody expects the politicians to solve this problem. They can't solve the problem. We can solve this problem. We as a community, we as an organization, we can solve our own problems, and we can teach the government how to solve our problems. We need to give them information. You must remember, these guys don't know anything about this industry or any other agricultural industry. We've seen that. So instead of hating on them, I'm of the attitude that we should be helping them. We should be supporting them. Okay, next one. The focus is largely on with the agriculture sector, like I said, but little attention has been given to the potential opportunities for emerging industries, as I said early on. The opportunities for companies within the construction industry, composites, animal products, nutrition, cosmetics, plastic, energy, and more relevant and quite importantly right now is biodiesel. We are already making biodiesel in Durban, not in large quantities, but hemp biodiesel. What's interesting is a lot of people don't know that the first internal combustion engines ran on hemp biodiesel, biofuels. There was no Saudi Arabia or Middle East in those days. Okay, they used what they had. So hemp has a massive potential of solving a lot of our energy and nutrition problems within South Africa. Biodiesel is something we're really getting serious about right now. Our early trials, we've made biodiesel that it's so pure we don't have to tell people it comes from a plant. But it works very well. Hopefully we'd like to upscale that in the future, but refining on a massive scale, it takes a massive amount of raw product coming in, a massive amount of processing. So although it's viable and possible to upscale it to the degree where it becomes a viable project where we can run all of our gas cars and diesel cars and tractors on it, it's still a bit of a time off. But there's no better time than the future to start that. Okay, with a sustainable supply of raw products, the opportunities for new companies is exploding, providing jobs for people in KZN. Guys, I'm always saying to people, don't look at growing hemp as much as what you can do with it. And those farmers that are growing and say, hey, I haven't got an offtake, make hempcrete out of it, make blocks out of it, make something out of it that is going to provide you an income. You're taking a raw product and you're adding value to it by making a product. So whether you're making bricks or whether you're using it for cattle feed, because it's high nutrition cattle feed, there's a farmer in Newcastle, he grows it and then he turns it into pellets, runs it through a hammer mill and he pelletizes it and he feeds it to his cows. You have never seen cows like that. Okay, they're nice and fat and they're healthy. Okay, so there is a lot of opportunity within the industry space besides just growing hemp. We need to create our own markets, create our own little value chains. So obviously we would like to buy it on, when I say we as an industry would like to buy it on, we would like to service the markets and the contracts that we already have in place, in both locally and internationally in about 3 continents. Okay, here's an example of opportunity. This machine, it's called, some of you guys might have seen it, it's being manufactured in Zululand. It's a mobile decortication system. The KH has invested in this development and manufacturing of locally built agri equipment for the hemp industry in partnership with one of our member companies. We have developed a mobile turnkey decortication system specifically designed for South African conditions. What makes this different from the Chinese, number one, or any other foreign country supplying us hemp decortication equipment, which is a key part of agri processing in our country, is it is 100% locally made, designed and built. It's also, it runs on a hydraulic drivetrain. It doesn't run on electric motors and chains, which tend to fail under heavy loads. So this is an industrial, over-engineered piece of machinery, and it's a key part of the industry. The Nyati, or what we call the TMD 4000 mobile decortication system, allows for this semi-processing of the hemp stalk into its basic components of fiber and hurd at the side of the field. It can be towed into difficult areas with a 4x4 by the agri-processor, saving costs and transport of stalks to a facility by the farmer. This machine is half the cost of imported systems and can process 4 tons an hour. So it's a phenomenal machine. The KHA commissioned an engineering company to build this machine for us 4 or 5 years ago already. So it's been a long time in development. The prototype is done, it works. We are now building these machines. So this is just an example of an opportunity of a company that's feeding an industry that don't have anything to do with growing it, fertilizing it, supplying anything except the equipment, the agri solutions. And if you think getting an agri processing machine into some of the rural areas with very bad road infrastructure, this is an answer. It packages the separate components into cargo bags to be loaded. Like I say, it's just an example of the opportunities. There are many. So companies that are opening, at the end of the day, if you are sitting here and thinking, well, hell, let me make cattle feed, talk to the farmers around here. There's lots of them. There's nothing to say you can't buy that directly from the farmer. This is not an over-regulated value chain. The farmers are not forced to sell to this. The farmers, that's your crop. Okay. Next one. Okay. For years we've spoken about the potential of seed, for instance. Today we are here to talk about the power of the factory. Within the recent 2025 Plant Improvement Act raising the THC threshold to 2%, and the new LSF study identifying a 40 billion rand a year market by 2032. So this is a massive industry, and it's a global industry. South Africa are lagging a little bit behind in terms of getting it off the ground, but a lot of laws have changed in the United States, so they are looking to South Africa to produce raw product for them. So this is our value gap. Every ton of raw biomass we export or leave to rot is a missed opportunity for a factory, a local brand, and a local job. Next. Okay, so if you're looking at the value gap here, the reality is pretty clear. Growing hemp is the foundation, but processing it is where the wealth lives. Guys, this is pretty easy to understand. Like I've been saying during this presentation, is that if you're taking a low value hemp herd product and you're turning it into something, here I'm just using an example of bioplastics and biofuel, but there's a lot of opportunity. You can make hemp board with it, chipboard. You can make animal bedding for it. Big market for animal bedding in this country. There's a big market for cattle feed in this country. There's a big market for hempcrete. Hempcrete is water, lime, and hemp herd, and it has phenomenal qualities in terms of being used as building material. So currently KZN holds the highest number of cultivation permits in the country, but we are still importing hemp-based components for our own industries. This is our value gap. Every ton of raw biomass we export, we're chasing it away. We should be producing products here. We should be building companies that produce products here. And this one. Green construction, KZN infrastructure. Okay, so let's look at construction. KwaZulu-Natal is facing a massive demand for sustainable and affordable housing. Emerging businesses shouldn't just grow hemp, they should be manufacturing the hempcrete blocks and insulation panels. Even herd that can be used as spill kits for chemical spills. Works very well, works better than any other compound. But insulation in roofs, you want to, like they use that pink fiberglass stuff, think pink, and I don't know what they use now. It's like a wool stuff. But hemp can be used for exactly that, because the thermodynamic properties of hemp is superior to most raw products. Okay, so emerging businesses there's a lot of opportunity for that. With the rising cost of traditional cement, a KZN-based hempcrete facility serves two masters, the environment and the bottom line. Okay, our province can lead the way in the grown infrastructure, as we put it, building it. The green infrastructure, we can use this to feed people, we can use this to build people's houses, we can use it for clothing, we can use it for nutrition, we can use it to feed our animals. Excuse me, the list goes on. Okay, so there's that value. The automotive and next time, the automotive and biocomposites industry in South Africa is starting to explode. The Europeans have been way ahead of it. BMW has been on it. In Durban, we sit at the doorstep of the Toyota plant in the Durban automotive cluster. The global shift towards lightweight, biodegradable interiors is not a trend, it's a mandate. Okay, that has been mandated. We've all been listening to the green, what I call the green terrorists, basically pushing the green agenda, and you know it's something that we've been looking at for years, long before the green nuts came along. Okay, because we realize what value it has to the environment. Now they're listening to us. there's a massive opening for manufacturing startups to produce hemp reinforced polymers by converting our bast fiber into high-tech mats for the automotive industry. We move from the field to the assembly line. There's a startup company that was funded by CIFTA. It's one of our current mentorship programs, where it's a brother and sister based out of Zululand, and what they're doing is they're creating hemp filament for 3D printing, and they're printing 3D grow systems, 3D hydroponic systems, and it's amazing what they're doing with that. So it just started with an idea, and they're pretty successful. They're making cattle ear tags with RFID chips in using hemp plastics, and they're phenomenal in terms of quality. Next one. Okay, textiles are in our DNA. For too long, our clothing industry has relied on imported, thirsty Tinu cotton, or whatever it is. Emerging manufacturers have now the chance to revitalize KZN's textile mills. By establishing local decortication and degumming facilities, we can supply made in KZN hemp fabric to the world through the Port of Durban. Okay, and we aren't just selling clothes, we're selling a traceable, ethical African brand. So if we're looking at fashion designers, African fashion designers that can design clothes, and now is the opportunity to design clothes that are hemp-based clothes or hemp fiber. There is no shortage of markets for that, particularly in the overseas market. It's trendy to wear a dress made by a company in South Africa made out of hemp. It's so, and they sell for fortunes. If you have a look, just for instance, in the United States, there was a group of gorgos that were making just hemp braided bangles, and they were selling for $10 online a pop, and the guys were snapping it up. These aunties couldn't. Eventually, there was about 16 gorgos sitting there just making hemp fiber, just weave fiber bangles for $10 a pop. That's a nice profit margin for those ladies. They're pretty successful with it. Okay, so the opportunities there for us in the textile industry to become a major market player. Within South Africa, there's a lot of smaller concerns within an industry sector. It's not just the sector that generally are isolated, and instead of working together, becoming one, that neighbor is no longer your neighbor, is your partner. He's no longer your competition, he's your partner in a bigger picture. Once you do that, you allow yourself to become more exposed, and that's essentially what KHA does. Is we take all the small guys, put them together and say, this is the information you need, this is the markets you need. We facilitate that in a much bigger mainstream market. One of our mandates has always been into our constitution is that our focus is about bringing the informal sector into a mainstream industry and allowing them to move out of the informal sector and become commercial producers. For that, we will be there to assist them and support them in whatever they need. Okay. Next one. Okay, now regulation. Regulation is one of those sore points I'm just going to briefly go over quickly. Largely within the hemp sector, we're dealing with three components of hemp, and currently government will give a hemp permit. They have changed a lot of the regulation. Previously, there was you couldn't produce hemp with more than 0.02, and you only allowed to grow 20 hectares. Your THC levels. What else? There was a third. They changed three things within the hemp system, which basically opened up the opportunities a bit more, and that was largely because they listened to what we said to them. Within the hemp sector, we are not dealing with THC at all. We're dealing with three things: production of seed for grain, not cultivar seed for grain. Once you're producing cultivar seed, you've got a whole lot of problems with intellectual property. It's protected. A lot of the genetics are protected by intellectual property. Martin, when he has a chat to you guys just now, he's going to let you give you a little bit more insight on that. So producing seed for grain, producing it to press oils, producing it to produce husk and create hemp flour, that's the one sector. Other sector being fiber and biomass, and then the third sector being CBD. We've managed to allow them, or we get them to agree with us that CBD forms part of the hemp protocol. So we're dealing with those. CBD flour for various export markets and even local markets. If you walk into any mainstream retail store these days, you can buy hemp shampoo, hemp soap, hemp chewing gum, hemp anything. And people buy it because it's got a weed leaf on it, and they're going to rebel. Let's buy a can of weed energy drink. It's only got CBD in it, guys. Legally, you can put 2% THC in it, but that creates a whole lot of issues. But you're starting to get SAPRA involved once it becomes human consumption of a controlled substance. So we try and avoid that. So the THC limits are set at 2%. Your checklist: what do you need to grow? Permit, water license. If you're going CBD, medicinal or human consumption, you're going to get SAPRA involved. When we approach SAPRA for comment on the CBD permits, they say we're not interested, or they just kind of they dodge the bullet. So we've kind of just said, right, we're incorporating it within the hemp framework, and government are largely, I think, happy with that, because we have a guideline and a framework in which the people producing that framework, they work within that framework. So that framework is basically defined by what the market wants. What do the customer want? Traditionally, people that grow cannabis think, I've got to compete with the guy next door to grow the best, strongest weed. It's not like that. Sugarcane industry, forestry industry, you're not growing those trees like you think they should be growing. The customer dictates it. It says, this is the parameters, this is what we want. Hemp is not any different. Okay. The next one. The days of the lonely industrialists are over. To compete globally, KZN needs industrial clusters. We need our manufacturers to sit next to our processors, who sit next to our farmers, and that is what we have created in terms of the value chain. We invite every emerging business owner in this room to stop viewing the person next to you as a competitor and start seeing them as a link in your supply chain. Guys, the KHA is based fundamentally, that's our principle, is to get everybody together in one place and say, how can we benefit each other? How can we help each other? Okay, we're here to facilitate, we're here to give information, guidance, we're here to talk to government on your behalf, okay, because they listen to us. Okay, so essentially we need to have a fresh approach and a fresh look at what hemp actually is. It's more than just a cannabis plant growing in a field. Okay, next one. Okay, here is the crux one. The challenges facing the industry. Funding from private sector, IDS and government has been slow up till now. It's created a lot of frustration for us, and it's created a lot of frustration for our members, but we cannot give up, and we will not give up. We will constantly be fighting on behalf of you guys, our members, and this industry. And at the moment, our funding is 100% from our own pockets. Our EXCO members contribute, our members contribute, but it's hardly enough for us to give you breakfast this morning. So I do apologize for that. Hopefully 2027 AGM, we'll hold it at the Maharani Hotel in Durban with a full 3-course breakfast. So guys, we just need the funding. We are pressuring government to do that, but yeah, we know how fast they work sometimes. Okay, so we are going forward. We are trying to help them sort of get this industry off the ground. Okay, so the current hemp industry in KZN is facing its own set of challenges, which can fundamentally be solved by investment funding from private sector investors, government grants and IDFs. Now, the missing part of any person, anyone or any investor or potential investor that wants to invest in an industry or in a project is they're saying, how do we guarantee that our investment is safe? Well, the KHA steps into that role and says, we will facilitate it. We will make sure that the farmer, that the producer, whatever their business sector is, has the necessary skills, oversight and support to be successful. At the end of the day, we want the entire value chain to be successful. So in order for us to gain trust from an investment, we have got to provide a platform, a non-profit, neutral, objective platform or organization that looks after the interests of both the customer and the supplier. So that's what we are. Okay, so other challenges: access to machinery and implements. This is something that has been a problem long before the hemp industry was established or was an inkling of an industry. Essentially, that a lot of the rural farmers, the commercial farmers, they okay. They have access to tractors and implements and sickle bars. Within the rural areas, not so easy. So we have got various different methodologies that are more traditional, historical, or legacy methodology. For instance, you don't need a sickle bar.
Sorry, Sheldon. Sorry to bother you. We're just getting a lot of influx of people. I know if
Okay.
by chance, I know you want to show the projector, but seating is becoming a bit of a problem.
Okay, I'm almost finished with this, and then what we'll do is I think we might have to move back into the main auditorium.
Yes, please. So we just,
yeah.
I think we've got a lot of people here excited taking the day, so let's make it.
Yes, yeah, let's do that. Okay, I'll be finished in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Thanks, Sheldon.
I'm sure the people are tired of listening to me droning on. Okay, so machinery and implements, obviously a challenge. Lack of knowledge and skills. That's what we're here for, guys, is to give you those knowledge and skills. We don't charge for that. We've got a team of experts here. So if you're a farmer and there's something wrong with your crop, or you want to know how to do something, you email us, phone us, whatever, and we are there to support you. Obviously, we do encourage you to become members of our organization, because there's no such thing as a free lunch, and it does cost us. It costs us to travel, it costs us in airtime, it costs us in administration, it costs us in quite a lot of things. But at the moment, we're happy to fund it, but as we grow bigger, we will have to go forward. Okay, so other challenge, access to markets. There is no problem with that. The problem is with off-takes. Whatever business you are going to want to have an offtake, you want to have a signed agreement, you want to have a customer. So we are here to give you access to those markets. A lot of those markets phone us on a daily basis and they say, can you supply stevia? Can you supply herd? Can you supply this? So there is no shortage of markets. 2 of the biggest chicken farms in this country are currently signed sales agreements with us to supply them herd for animal bedding, because herd wood chips work better than, they're far superior to wood chips. Okay, the KHA is there to create an organized industry compliant with market and legal requirements and an established code of practice by our members. The KHA is not only there to guide and support our members throughout the value chain with information, training, advice, access to markets, but to ensure investor confidence in the hemp industry. Invest in our farmers, invest in our manufacturers, invest in our processors and refineries, but more importantly, we should be investing in our future. Okay, last slide. In closing, guys, the South African hemp sector is projected to be worth 40 billion by 2032. That's not so far up the road, guys. That's close. So the question for KwaZulu is, how much of that 40 billion will stay in KZN? The answer lies in our ability to manufacture. Let's stop talking about the potential of hemp and start building factories to prove it. The green gold is in our soil. Now let's put it into creating wealth for our people. Ngiyabonga bonke. Ingebeka ngabomvu. Ukubona wonke umuntu maduze. Thank you. Did I say that right?